In the quiet hours between dusk and dawn, when the world slows and most minds drift into unconsciousness, something profound is happening beneath the surface of the human body, something far more intricate and essential than mere rest. For decades, scientists have warned that poor sleep harms health, particularly the heart. But until recently, the precise mechanisms behind this damage remained hidden, like a thief operating in the dark. Now, groundbreaking research is pulling back the curtain, revealing how just a few nights of disrupted sleep can trigger a cascade of biological changes that set the stage for heart disease, even in people who seem perfectly healthy. The new findings come from a tightly controlled experiment where young, fit adults were subjected to only 3 nights of shortened sleep. What unfolded in their bloodstreams was both startling and sobering: a surge in proteins associated with inflammation, a weakening of the body's natural defenses, and a disruption in the delicate rhythm that governs when and how these molecules appear. This isn't the slow creep of aging or the result of years of poor habits. It's an almost immediate shift, a silent alarm ringing within the body after only a brief period of sleep loss. What makes this discovery so urgent is not just its scientific depth, but its relevance to modern life. In a world that glorifies busyness, where late-night emails, endless streaming, and early morning alarms have become the norm, sleep is often treated as optional, a resource to be borrowed from, repaid only when convenient. Yet this research shows that the body does not negotiate. It responds swiftly and definitively to sleep deprivation, activating pathways linked to some of the most common and deadly conditions of our time. At the heart of the matter is inflammation. Once thought of simply as the body's response to injury or infection, chronic inflammation is now recognized as a central player in the development of heart disease. When the immune system is constantly activated, even at low levels, it begins to damage the very tissues it is meant to protect. Arteries stiffen, plaques form, and the heart struggles under increased strain. The proteins that signal this inflammatory state, molecules with names like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor, are not just markers, they are active participants in the slow unraveling of cardiovascular health. In the study, researchers measured nearly 90 different proteins in the blood, creating a detailed map of how sleep shapes the body's internal environment. After just 3 nights of restricted sleep, less than half the recommended amount, this map changed dramatically. Levels of pro-inflammatory proteins rose, while those linked to tissue repair and metabolic balance dipped. The body was no longer in maintenance mode. It had shifted into a state of low-grade distress, as if under constant siege. Even more telling was what happened after physical activity. Exercise is one of the most powerful tools for heart health, known to stimulate the release of beneficial proteins that support circulation, reduce inflammation, and enhance brain function. One such protein, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, plays a crucial role in protecting neurons and improving cognitive resilience. Another, interleukin-6, is released by muscles during exertion and helps regulate glucose and fat metabolism. These molecules are part of the reason why a good workout leaves people feeling energized and clear-headed. But after sleep deprivation, this response faltered. The usual spike in protective proteins following exercise was significantly blunted. The body still moved, still sweated, still burned calories, but the deeper, systemic benefits were diminished. It was as if the machinery of recovery had been dulled, its signals muffled by exhaustion. This suggests that without adequate sleep, even the most disciplined fitness routine may fall short of its full potential. The effort is there, but the payoff is reduced. What's perhaps most unsettling is that these changes occurred in individuals with no pre-existing conditions, no history of heart problems, and lifestyles that would typically be considered low risk. These were not people surviving on energy drinks and all-nighters. They were healthy adults under carefully monitored conditions, eating balanced meals and avoiding external stressors. And yet, in a matter of days, their blood told a different story, one of emerging vulnerability. This raises a critical question. How many people are walking through life with this silent burden, unaware that their sleep habits are slowly reshaping their biology? Shift workers, parents of young children, students pulling all-nighters, professionals burning the candle at both ends. Millions navigate their days on compromised sleep, believing they are coping well. They may feel tired, yes, but not sick. Not yet. The danger lies in this invisibility. There are no immediate symptoms, no flashing warnings. The damage accumulates quietly, molecule by molecule, night after night. Adding another layer of complexity is the role of timing. The study found that the time of day when blood was drawn significantly influenced protein levels, and this variation became even more pronounced under sleep restriction. This points to the powerful influence of the circadian clock, the internal timekeeper that regulates everything from hormone release to body temperature to immune function. When sleep is disrupted, this clock becomes misaligned, throwing off the precise coordination of biological processes that depend on rhythm. Imagine the body as an orchestra, each instrument playing at a specific moment to create harmony. Sleep is the conductor, ensuring that every section enters at the right time. Without it, the music falls into disarray. Some instruments play too early, others too late, and the result is discord. In physiological terms, this means that inflammatory signals may peak at the wrong time, repair mechanisms may activate when they shouldn't, and metabolic processes may become inefficient. Over time, this loss of synchronization can contribute to disease. The implications extend beyond individual health. In workplaces, schools, and healthcare systems, there is growing recognition that sleep is not a personal indulgence but a public health issue. Hospitals staffed by sleep-deprived doctors, factories operated by fatigued workers, classrooms filled with teenagers forced to start school before sunrise. These are not just inefficiencies. They are environments where human biology is being systematically undermined. And now, with evidence showing that even short-term sleep loss alters the very chemistry of the blood, the argument for structural change becomes stronger. Consider the modern teenager, expected to wake before dawn for school, stay up late to complete homework, and navigate a digital world that never sleeps. Their developing brain and body are subjected to chronic circadian disruption, potentially setting the stage for long-term health issues. Or the nurse working 12-hour night shifts, rotating schedules, and struggling to find consistent rest. These are not edge cases. They are millions of people living in a society that has, in many ways, declared war on sleep. And yet, the solution is not complicated. It does not require new drugs or expensive interventions. It requires a cultural shift, a reevaluation of what we value and how we structure our lives. The idea that productivity must come at the expense of rest is not only outdated but biologically flawed. True performance, resilience, and longevity depend on recovery as much as exertion. Just as elite athletes prioritize sleep for peak performance, so too should everyone else. There is also a deeper philosophical dimension to this research. It reminds us that the human body is not a machine that can be pushed indefinitely. It is a living system, finely tuned by evolution, dependent on balance. When we override its signals, ignoring fatigue, suppressing the need to rest, we are not demonstrating strength. We are disrupting a complex network of checks and balances that has taken millennia to perfect. This is not to suggest that occasional sleep loss is catastrophic. The body is resilient, capable of adapting to short-term challenges. But resilience is not infinite. When sleep deprivation becomes routine, when late nights turn into patterns, the body's ability to compensate erodes. The inflammatory markers stay elevated. The repair systems slow. The heart, working harder under constant stress, begins to show wear. The good news is that many of these changes appear to be reversible. When sleep is restored, protein levels can normalize, inflammation can subside, and the body can return to equilibrium. This offers hope, not just for individuals, but for society. It means that by simply prioritizing sleep, people can reclaim a powerful tool for prevention. No surgery, no medication, no extreme diet, just the simple, profound act of resting. But changing behavior requires more than knowledge. It requires permission, to go to bed early, to say no to late-night demands, to value rest as much as output. For too long, sleep has been framed as laziness, a sign of weakness, or a luxury for the idle. This study, and others like it, challenge that narrative. They show that sleep is not passive. It is an active, dynamic process, essential for healing, memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and cardiovascular stability. In fact, during sleep, the brain undertakes a kind of nightly housekeeping, flushing out toxins that accumulate during waking hours. The heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and the body enters a state of deep restoration. These are not luxuries, they are biological necessities. To deprive the body of this time is to deny it the chance to repair itself, to reset, to prepare for the next day. The message from the laboratory is clear: sleep is not optional. It is as vital as food, water, and air. And when it is compromised, even briefly, the consequences echo through the bloodstream, altering the very molecules that govern health and disease. The heart, that tireless organ beating in the chest, does not ask for much, just a few hours of quiet each night to recover. But in a world that never stops, even that small request is often denied. As society continues to evolve, faster, louder, more connected than ever before, it may be time to ask what we are sacrificing in the name of progress. Are we truly more productive when we are exhausted? Are we more successful if we are slowly damaging our hearts? The science says no. The body, in its quiet, relentless way, keeps track of every missed hour, every disrupted night, every decision to prioritize screens over sleep. Perhaps the most powerful takeaway from this research is not the data itself, but what it reveals about our relationship with our own biology. We are not separate from our bodies. We are them. And when we neglect their needs, we do not escape the consequences, we simply delay them, often until it is too late. So the next time the clock ticks past midnight and the screen still glows, there is a choice to be made. Not just about sleep, but about what kind of life we want to live. One of constant strain, where health is slowly eroded in the name of busyness. Or one of balance, where rest is honored as a foundation of well-being. The heart already knows the answer. It beats on, night after night, waiting for us to listen. If you found this deep dive into the hidden dangers of sleep deprivation eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another video. Sleep might be silent, but its impact on your body is anything but, and understanding how something as simple as a good night's rest can protect your heart, brain, and overall health is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Share this with someone who's been burning the candle at both ends, because sometimes, the best thing you can do for your productivity is to just go to bed. Thanks for watching.